Hi, this is going to be one of those trigger warning videos. So, if you can't handle domestic violence and that's a trigger for you, I suggest for you not to watch or listen to this video. Um, but if not, do you remember some videos ago I was mentioning the fact that I had survival tactics, and one of them was a warped prayer that I had, and it was that I hoped that they would do that white powder and when they would be drinking because it would level them out. Well, I'm going to talk about what would happen when they didn't take the white powder and they didn't get leveled out. So they're drinking as they got, as it got worse, it as the night progressed, it got worse. And they were heavy drinkers. And my mom's just a regularly, she's a mean drunk to begin with. And George has always been belligerent. But what I will say is that no child should ever have to be a referee to two grown adults trying to live their just a natural life, a normal childhood, and to be having to be a referee to two grown adults, keeping them apart from each other, from hitting each other, beating each other up. Because, like I said, my mom was a mean drunk. So wasn't like she was being beaten, she was doing beating too. So it was both ways. So it was keeping them away from each other. But still, he's a man and he's physically stronger than my mom, of course. So it wouldn't always be an equal fight. But I always ended up in the middle and breaking it up. No, I would never get physically harmed myself. So there's no concern there. Um, it was just, it, it, the saddest part of life in that is those are screams, those are cries, those are sounds that I will have in my head for the rest of my life. The sound of what it sounds for a man's fist to hit a woman's face. What it sounds like for my mother to scream at the agony of that pain. Um, and of course, all the other that comes in between. Now, mind you, George didn't come out, the victor and all of that either. There were times where he got his comeuppance also. Um, and a lot of times I had to play the nurse. I did a lot of triage. And the triage that George should have gotten probably should have come from a medical professional. And of course they wouldn't have ever gone to a ER or even a clinic. It's because for obvious reasons police would have been involved. But I think I know how to do a lot of things that a normal person probably wouldn't know how to do. um I know how to do stitches, and I mean, not in the professional knotting kind of a way of a doctor would, but I can sew someone back together again if I had to. I can put, butterfly stitches, and I know how to do glue things back together and body put things, you know, yeah. So there's things that I learned how to do at a very young age, how to stop bleeding. Like I said, um, George was very instrumental in and I've mentioned this in a lot of my lives, is George was very, very, very adamant about me being very educated and very smart. And his favorite word for me was always precocious and always just precocious. But he always made sure I read, and I was always well read, and always had good books and books way beyond my years. I mean, I could have been reading books that were age appropriate for me, but I'm reading books way beyond. I learned a lot about philosophy and psychology and the encyclopedia at a very young age. And interesting enough, I hadn't seen George since the 90s. And when I saw him again in 2015, we actually had a discussion on philosophy and Socrates and all this stuff. And he was actually surprised that I had remembered all the stuff that he had taught me when I was a kid. Um and but those are the things that, growing up in the shadows, people forget about the kids that are from that environment. It's that. It's what the kids had to go through, what we endured as children, um, is the memories, the sounds that we have, the smell of certain body scents and stuff like that. Um, and those never leave you. They never leave you. Regardless of how healed you are, they never leave you. So I hope you have a great day. And I hope these videos, you find them interesting. And I hope you continue following along with our stories. Thank you.